Well, I'll be. Hello, everyone, and good time zone. And what is up, gamers? First of all, Joe, thank you very much for subbing with Prime. 28 months! That's almost a year. Thank you so much. Enjoy your emotes and stuff. And also, hello, Lux. Happy Canada Thanksgiving to you. I hope you are having a lovely. I hope you get like a bank holiday Monday. And also, happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Woo! Please, I don't know, eat pie and tacitly acknowledge Canada's complicated colonial history, but also, have something nice to eat. Um, anyways, hello. That was a messy start to the stream introductions. But hi everyone, welcome in. I hope you're having the loveliest of lovely Mondays. Oh, little boy, do I have stories to share? So it's not a bank, even though I am Canadian. I don't live in Canada. Unfortunately, we don't get a bank holiday Monday, so I just had it. Oh, is this mat slightly on the wall? Let's just give that a little fix. Also, have you seen my little crochet soy sauce that keeps me company here on the desk? How stinking cute is this tiny little soy sauce bottle that is crocheted and I got at the grocery store, and I love it with my whole heart. It's amazing. You had me at pie, said Lux. Hell yeah. Hell yes. I did my Thanksgiving meal. It has the Kikoman label. I'm so sold, Lux. This came with a bottle of Kikoman soy sauce. Can you believe to learn? It was the only one on the shelf. And I had almost forgot to buy soy sauce, and I literally, we were at the self-checkouts. I ran back to the aisle, and it was the only soy sauce there that was the one that we can get, and it had this little crochet soy sauce bottle on it. It was the most serendipitously amazing moment of my entire life. Can you believe? It was incredible. Anyways, so yeah, I have had a day today. I've had a normal day of, the usual putting out metaphorical fires and what have you. So that's been fun. Because despite being Canadian, I don't live in I don't live in Canada. I live in the UK. So I didn't get a bank holiday today. Boo earns. We don't get a bank holiday anytime between August and Christmas, and I think that's mean. I think that's mean. And I would start a government petition to say that there should be a bank holiday sometime between August and Christmas, because that is too long without any scheduled, off time. It's bad for your mental health. But I know what would happen. It would get 100,000 signatures, and the government would be like, okay, it has 100,000 signatures. We have to respond to this petition. And then the government would put forth a response to the petition, and the response to the petition would be, we are not going to do that. Thank you. I know this because I've signed a lot of official UK petitions before. And pretty much almost always it'll be like, government, please do this, or please don't do this. And eventually, if it gets enough signatures, the government has to respond to the petition, and the government will respond to the petition. If the petition was like, please don't do this, the government is like, we are going to do this. So it's just kind of feel like I'm gonna keep doing it, but it also feels a little bit like, what's the point? Because they're just gonna be like, no matter what you sign for, they're just gonna be like, no. Anyways, what's the point? We get 4, says Lux. Oh, beans. Anywho. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so today was a regular day for me. So I had my Thanksgiving dinner last night, but because of my saga, which I'll get onto in a minute, I couldn't really do a full Thanksgiving dinner meal. I did manage to make a cottage pie, which is a little special. It's a little bit more effortful than the things I would normally kind of put together for just a regular old week end kind of situation. because it's such like a common British dinner, like fish pie, cottage pie, that kind of thing. But I never do them. And part of the reason that I never do them is it's the kind of thing where you have to like cook a filling, you have to make mashed potatoes, and then you have to put them together, and then you have to bake it in the oven. And it ends up taking like 2 hours. It's super comforting, but like it takes like 2 hours. But it was a special day, so I did it yesterday. But also, I didn't do any like pie or anything because I have a bad tooth that is halfway through being did. And so Joe says I make deconstructed cottage pie. Joe, I made a deconstructed apple pie last night. Because I mean, a deconstructed cottage pie is just like mince with seasonings and mashed potato. I have no complaints about that. But it was a special day, so I wanted to make it a little bit special. But I made a deconstructed apple pie last night because I was like, okay, what's something that feels Thanksgiving-y that will actually be safe for me to eat with my tooth? Because I'm not supposed to be eating like crunchy things. I'm having a time. I've been on soft foods and like mush for, I swear it feels like months now. It's been a few weeks, but it feels like months. But so I ended up taking some apples. I peeled the apples, I cooked the apples down, and then I just had basically some cold cooked apples with whipped cream, and I crumbled some shortbread biscuits onto them. Because I thought that would be a little bit easier to contend with than, like, pie pastry. Also, a hell of a lot easier, because if there's one thing that I don't enjoy baking, it's pastry. I hate rolling stuff out. I much prefer working with, like, yeast doughs and cakes and that kind of thing. But I love pie. It's a problem. It's an extra problem because I have to make gluten-free, like, yeast doughs, and the ones you can make at home suck. Unless you're going out of your way and like buying like 5 different specific types of flour and blending them yourself, and I'm just not there yet. The like gluten-free plain flour, if you try and make like cinnamon buns with that, y'all, they have like the texture of a yeasted scone, and they are not good if you don't serve them warm. Anyways, hey Chris Jar of Bees, I don't remember if I said hi. But hi, I had pumpkin pie with actual pumpkins that didn't come out of a can yesterday, and it was so nice. That sounds so good. I love pumpkin pie. I love that for you. I never get to make pumpkin pie because I'm the only person in the house that likes it, and you can't, like, buy it here. But that's so good. I love that for you. That's so nice. But yeah, I made a deconstructed apple pie, and as much as I just had some very, very soft, very well-cooked apples, some whipped cream, and I crumbled some, like, infinitesimal crumbs of shortbread on top. And you know what? It was delicious. Oh my god, it was so good. Why would I ever make pie again? It was perfect. It was all of the elements that you want, but with, like, a third of the effort. Because all I really had to do was, like, peel, chop, and cook some apples on the hob, which, you know, is the work of, like, minutes. I had to whisk some double cream into soft peaks. That's not a problem. And then just go with 2 biscuits. Job's a good one. It was really good. Okay, which color are you? You're blue. Okay, I'm setting out my paints, as you can see. I'm just trying to make sure that they end up in the right order. These are sticky. It's been damp in here. I don't know. Okay, that's all of them. Neat. Oh, you can't see my paints. Let me just move everything down slightly so you can see my paints. I've decided that I'm going to use my Lunar Red Rock set again, because these just feel like cold weather colors. These are the ones that I used for the painting that we did last Thursday, I think it was, with the trees and stuff. Hold on, let me grab it so you can see what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it on the internet, and you might not have seen it on Blue Sky, because apparently Blue Sky search is just intermittently doesn't show you stuff. which I learned with this piece. I was like, wow, no one has seen this. That makes me feel sad. Or at first I was like, wow, everyone hates this, and that makes me feel sad. I mean, I know it's just a sketchy little number. It's not like the most exciting painting ever made, but I thought it was pretty nice. And it did like 0 numbers on Blue Sky, and I was like, what's going on? And then I clicked on one of the hashtags that I had used in the post, and this just did not appear under that hashtag. So I tried another hashtag, and this also did not appear under that hashtag. So this post was just shadow banned for some reason. I thought maybe my whole account was, but no, other posts are working as intended. Just that one for some reason. Shadow band. Would you rebalance the light, please? Okay, that's a little bit better. It's this camera is still doing the thing where it wants to kind of wash out the bright whites, but those are pretty controversial trees. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's if you listen really closely to the rustling of the leaves, it sounds just a little bit like Free Palestine. That's probably why. But oh, that stands for be back in a bit, doesn't it? Have a lovely lurk, Joe. I hope you have a wonderful lurk. I saw that you said lurk. Blah, 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 and I was like, what? Is Joe okay? And I just realized that what they meant was be back in a bit. Having a terrible time parsing what that word could mean, and then I realized it was an acronym. I'm very intelligent, y'all. I don't know if you know this about me, but I was on like the genius track when I was in 2nd grade, and it shows. It's not, I'm an idiot. Anyways. But, yes. So this is what I want to work on today. This is, in case you're wondering, this is a crow. This is a hooded crow specifically. Because why? Because I Googled types of crow, and I thought, well, that one's cute as heck. I mean, they're all cute, but I thought this one was presh. And they have interesting plumage, and they're also just very smart and cute. So I figured, what the hey. And specifically, I also wanted to paint a crow that would be somewhere in the vicinity of territories where crowberries grow, and guess what? They are. So hooded crows could conceivably eat crowberries, and that's very important to me. Because this crow is making crowberry jam. And I just think that's neat. I have attempted to... Oh my god. I have attempted to, like, reposition my light so that it's not doing that thing where the whites go extra bright. Maybe if I add, like, a fill... The light from this one is kind of right directly in my eyeballs. But I don't know if that helps in terms of actually being able to see the painting and not have it be completely washed out. I just don't know. Anyways, Q2s, thank you for the unshrimp prompt. I shall. I'm doing a stretch. I'm lengthening my spine. I'm having a nice time. I feel like it's still washing. Okay, what if I just do that? What if I just do that? Hold up. Okay, sorry for the lighting change. That's so much worse. That's so much. Why is it just, I have tried in so many different ways to get it to not do that, and it just keeps doing it. It's so bizarre. It shouldn't be as big of a deal once we start actually painting bits in, but maybe I'm just gonna hold it so it stops doing it. It's like the paper isn't shiny, so it's not like reflecting off of anything. Anyways, I love art research, says Chris Jarvis. Love doing it more than actual painting, probably. It is a very pleasant part of the process, that is for sure. QT's also wants me to hydrate. Let me take a sip. I'm going to take a sip of this tea, because I wanted something comforting today, and this is Hello Kitty's pink apple pie, which is so dang cute, and it feels appropriate, actually, for Thanksgiving, because it is Canadian Thanksgiving today. Even if I am just making lentil soup for dinner and otherwise had an extremely normal day of, like, having to look things up in a database and, update Excel spreadsheets and do research and plan YouTube videos that I have been meaning to film for, like, a month. So with it goeth. Anyways. Can't wait to see the crowberry jam crow come to life. Thank you. I like to think that the crow made the jam themselves. I like to think that's what's going on here. I don't know, but I feel like that's the vibe I'm getting from it. Anyways, the one thing about this paint palette, and I don't know where my like swatches are for this, so you'll just have to take my word for it that this is a rainbow. But the black in this set is very brown. And so I think what I want to do is I have a permanent blob of neutral tint here on my palette, and I think I'm actually going to mix that together with the black paint in order to make something that's a little bit warm, but is clearly meant to be black feathers, not brown feathers. That feels like an important distinction to make. Oh my god, look at the expression on this little guy. It's just like, hi, this is a hooded crow. Are they not the cutest? Look at their little face. They're just like, hey, how's it going? Side-eye. Like, what is that expression? It's so good. It's so good. I love them. I love them very much. But also, yeah, they just have some really fun plumage. It's a little bit more, I don't want to say colorful per se, but maybe a little bit more colorful than, like, what you would think of as, like, a standard crow. Just because they've got, you know, black and also kind of gray. Anyways, I just thought it'd be a fun little guy to paint. So I'm gonna just pull up some representative Google image search in order to make sure I get the sort of placement of the different plumage colors correctly as best as I can. This guy's gonna be a little puffy, a little fluffy. Q2 says, unfortunately I am biased towards my pet lovebird, so they are not the cutest. Oh, I mean, obviously your pet lovebird is the cutest. Which is also, I love the fact that you have one. That's adorable. I mean, and also obviously, like, there are like no birds that I don't love, except maybe I have mixed feelings about certain birds in the video game Silk Song. If you saw my last 2 streams, you'll know I had an interesting experience with, I don't know if this is what it's called, but with what I'm calling the bird gauntlet. That was a fun time. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna move these up slightly so I can actually get to work. Seagulls can take right off out of here. Aw, geez. You know, I think sometimes seagulls have a bit of an issue with, like, boundaries, but I also don't think that's necessarily their fault. I think they're very good at pattern recognition, and lots of people have the stupid idea that, like, it's okay to feed wild birds, and so then when wild birds see human people, they're like, oh, those chips are for me. No, they ain't. But they don't know that. It creates this whole, you know, bad, like, unhealthy relationship. And it's probably not good for the digestion either. But, are your chips for chats? He says Q2s. Oh man, Q2s. I wish I could eat chips. Fun fact, the tooth that I'm getting fixed currently, I initially broke it about 10 years ago eating a chip. Literally an incredibly soft chip that was part of a kid's meal that I was eating at, like, a supermarket cafe. I got myself the kids' meal fish fingers with chips and peas. And it was the softest chip. There was no crispy crunchy at all to this chip. And somehow that chip massively broke my tooth. Anyways, oh yeah, so the thing about my tooth. So I went and got my tooth done about just under 2 weeks ago. And when I got there, this hadn't been communicated to me previously. When I got there, the dentist was like, okay, I'm going to do the first part of your procedure today. What about the rest of the parts? Turns out I had to come back in 2 weeks to do the rest of the parts. So I was supposed to be going in tomorrow to get the rest of the procedure done. And then presumably make an appointment for like the other 2 things that they have to do after that. It's being a saga and an ordeal. And it's a fun, unexpected expense. So I do have a shop, by the way, if you're interested in things like stickers or bookmarks or prints or anything like that, just FYI. They made me an appointment for tomorrow morning to have the second part of this procedure done, and then I get a call this afternoon from the dentist's office to say we need to cancel and reschedule your appointment. Now this would not be so big of a deal if it weren't for the fact that A, I have a rapidly degrading temporary filling in my mouth right now, and I'm really scared that if we leave this for an additional week, it's going to get to the point where like it's starting to emergency hurt again. But the other thing is, I was originally supposed to have the first part of the procedure done about a month before I did. And I went to the dentist's office on that day. My moderator / spouse had taken time out of his job in order to take me to this appointment. And I get there and they're like, we don't have an appointment for you today. And I was like, what? They just lost my appointment. So I had to reschedule. And the soonest they could reschedule me for was like 3 weeks later. So that was fun. And then I get a text message the morning of that appointment to say that they've canceled my appointment with no further information. So I ring them. And I have to reschedule for the following week where they're able to squeeze me in. So this is the 3rd time that I've had an appointment canceled. Got a question for you, chat. What the hell is going on? This is the 3rd delay. Like, I don't mean to be one of those, like, demanding, annoying people being like, I want to speak to your manager. Like, that's not who I am. But I miss being able to eat solid food. And like, how does one person encounter this many instances of absolutely rotten luck? I don't feel like I have the recourse of just being like, well, I'm just going to go to a different dentist from here on out. Because I keep hearing about, like, people are having problems finding a dentist that's taking new patients. So, yeah. That gives me pause and nervousness. And I have no confidence that another dentist's office isn't going to be as just crazy rotten luck. I think I'm just cursed. I think my tooth is just cursed. I don't know. Maybe you should speak to their managers as Q2s. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I had a bit of a scare the morning of this, the first bit of it, which I did thankfully manage to actually get done. Because I got there and they're like, okay, just so you know, the dentist isn't. I'm like, oh god, not available, stuck in traffic, so he'll be about 45 minutes late. I'm like, oh, I don't care. I don't care. I'm just glad it's happening. And then it turns out it was only 50% happening. So that's my saga. That's my ordeal so far. And therefore, I'm painting a hooded crow for my mental health. You know, I've noticed on this drawing, there's actually kind of a sort of like a fuzzy patch kind of here on the top of the beak. So I want to make sure that I get that kind of properly depicted. That's the word I'm looking for. I want to get that properly depicted. And the rest of it, I think I can kind of wing. But I think what I might do is I'm just gonna steal a little bit of this. Not a ton, just a little bit. Because I think I'm gonna just kind of underpaint the whole thing in, like, the light gray of the sort of the lighter colored part of the plumage, and then we'll fill in the darker bits later on. But I think this is probably the easiest way to do it. Hopefully this will be a good color. I kind of want to test this color out before I put it to the papier. This is one of the many hypothetical scenarios that don't let me sleep at... Oh, sorry, I missed it. Imagine they said something out of pocket like, unfortunately, your doctor is taped to the ceiling of the local cathedral. So Steve just had to even respond to that. I don't know. At this point, I would be weirdly unsurprised by that. Is this one of the many hypothetical scenarios that don't let me sleep at night sometimes? Maybe. That is, honestly, there comes a point at which you kind of honestly feel almost unsurprised by that. I would just be like, yeah, that tracks. At this point, that kind of tracks. Okay, sure. Why not? This is just my life now. Cool. Okay. I think that might end up being how I feel about it. Beans. Okay. Alright, I'm trying to do like a super zoom in on this plumage so I can actually get a good feel for what color it is, because it's definitely not quite white. Like, it's darker than white. But it's not that dark, I feel like. So, yeah, the usual happened to me last Tuesday, says Sammy, probably. Oh, boy. To be honest, my life is pretty mundane, you know? That's probably why I have so many things to say about, like, oh, my dentist appointment went wrong. Because for the most part, there isn't really that much that exciting that happens to me in the course of, like, an average week. Like, oh, what exciting things did you get up to this week, Sammy? Well, Cool Ranch Doritos were on offer, so I thought about buying them, but then I decided against it. Like, I'm over 40. That's what passes for excitement in this house. Okay, yeah. I was worried about making the, like, gray feathers too dark, but to be honest, the other feathers are black. So, I don't want them to be, like, stark white, because they're not quite. They're light, but they're not white, you know? So I'm going to start with this. I wonder, is that a little bit too dark? That might be a little bit too dark for starters, so I'm going to give it a little blut. Yeah, what has everyone been up to? Did you have good weekends? I hope you had good weekends. I'm just giving this a little blot down, so it's not quite as dark, but I think that's honestly, that's so subtle. I think that's perfect. Okay. I went to a pumpkin festival, says Q2's. Oh, hell yeah, that sounds like so much fun. I hope you had fun. They even had a giant pumpkin made out of... Now hold your butt. Hold on. Okay. It is being held. Pumpkins. Whoa! A pumpkin made out of pumpkins? That sounds amazing. Can I stop holding my butt now? I need my hand back. Anyways. That's really, really cool. I hope you had a super fun time. That sounds amazing. Oh, man. I want to go to a pumpkin festival. Okay, granted. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's so good to have my hand back. Phew. I'm going to take another sip of my tea. And actually, before we paint anymore, I'm going to moisturize if that's okay. So yeah, for all of the above reasons that I just mentioned, I gotta get Whimsical. That's my wedding ring. I don't want to get moisturizer all over it, so I'm doing that. Chris RV says, my mama and I made my brother's favorite dinner for his birthday yesterday. Oh, that's so nice. It was more excitement than I normally have also. That sounds so nice. I love that for you. Hell yeah. I hope that your brother's birthday went well. And I hope that you have a lovely week ahead. And yeah. My cottage pie was really nice yesterday, it has to be said. It was very basic because I haven't been feeling amazing, so I didn't really have it in me to cook something too complicated. But it was really yummy. And tonight I'm making lentil soup, and I'm very excited for lentil soup, because of course. Of course, Jarvie says, I got him socks. Oh my god, that is the best gift. You can never have too many socks. Pardon my hiccups. Heck. We're over 40, so socks are a good present. Truly, truly. That's the thing I look forward to most every Christmas, is that I know that my parents-in-law are gonna get me socks. And I love them so much. Every single time I'm just like, yes, thank you. This is perfect. I'm so happy for more socks. It's the highlight of my holiday. Socks. Q2 says, in capitalism news, I got the new AirPods Pro 3, and I love them very much. Woo! Hell yeah! Love that for you. Do I have any new acquisitions? I don't have new acquisitions, but I do have a new project if y'all want to see. First of all, I'm finally decanting my sewing supplies into this tin, which you can tell is for sewing supplies. Actually, I love the design of this tin. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's got like these beautiful little like scenes painted on the outside as well, but I've started putting my sewing supplies inside, so I'm feeling very responsible and good. And that is at the same time as I've had this tin for absolutely ages. It used to be, it did come full of biscuits. But I was the only person in the house who liked the biscuits, and then I developed an intolerance to gluten. So we ended up the biscuits sat there for months, went stale, and then my partner binned them and cleaned the tin so that I could use it for my sewing supplies. And look, I've started stitching a seam. This fabric is super annoying because it frays like bloody heck, but I am indeed working on the first seam of a new sewing project, and I'm very excited. Get a load of this. This fabric is so fun. I love this fabric. It is very cool. But oh my god, it frays so hard, and it's so super annoying. I do not like when fabric frays. Anyways, are they silly socks? Has been asked of the socks that Cursed Jar of Bees got as a birthday gift for their brother. One pair had an octopus paddling a kayak. Perfect, I love it. And the other had Godzilla and King Kong. He's a middle school teacher, so they were from work. That's adorable. I love it. Q2 says, has anyone ever seen cookies in those tins? They only come with sewing supplies. I was surprised I managed to find one that actually still had biscuits in it. And they were delicious. A very spicy gingerbread. And they were little heart shapes. But sadly, or happily for me, that is now being filled with, sort of haberdashery bits and notions, which, much more useful on an everyday basis. Anywho. Q2 says, you're an honest person, but I'm 98% sure you're lying right now. It's true! It's true! I can tell you exactly where I bought them. I think they're selling them again this year. Admit it, you bought them with sewing supplies inside. If you could just buy a sewing kit that came in a biscuit tin, that would be amazing. I love the sewing kit cookies as Cursed Jar of Bees. I know, right? I feel like the traditional one is like the Danish butter biscuits, and those are so good. On the rare going to an auntie's house and you see like the Royal Dansk Danish cookie tin, and you're just like, oh, is it gonna be? And you open it and it's full of sewing supplies, and of course it is. But just that 1 time out of 10 that it actually has biscuits in, and it's like the best day because those biscuits are so good. The Danish butter biscuit sewing supplies are the best, says Q2's. Truly. The other project that I am going to start this week, I'm giving myself 2 projects, because one of them I'm going to try and turn into content is going to be made with this. Wow! Camera, I have thoughts and feelings, camera, and I'll tell you why I have thoughts and feelings. This looks so orange on my monitor. But in real life, it is a classic pillar box red. Like, it is a much redder red than the orange you are seeing. Why does it look orange? What the nuts? Okay, next question. Do these look orange? These look way oranger too. Well, damn. You'll just have to take my word for it that this is a classic pillar box red. The name of the color was Demon Scarlet. And I fell so hard in love with that name that I was like, that's going to be my pirate name. So I need to buy this fabric and make a pirate shirt out of it. So I'm making myself an 18th century pirate shirt in the color Demon Scarlet, because if I was a pirate, my name would be Demon Scarlet. That's why. Oh yes. Cursed RV says the Danish butter ones are that are shaped like a little pretzel with sugar sprinkled on top. Those were the best ones. Those are the best ones. The crunchy little bits of sugar. So good. Oh, I miss them so much. I miss them so much. I miss being able to digest wheat without having a raft of health problems. But never mind. I should try and make a crowberry jam color, I think. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to need to look up crowberries as well, so that I can do that. Blurp. Which I feel like is going to be, if you've seen what crowberries look like, they're like blueberry adjacent. They're this very, or I would say kind of appearance wise, they remind me of something between like a blueberry and a black currant. So I feel like the jam itself is going to be like a really dark purple. So that's what I'm going to aim for. I might steal some of this just to kind of start a color, and then assess that this is my manganese violet mixed with lunar red rock. That's the fun thing about this, and apologies to anyone who's heard all about this palette before, but that's one of the fun things about this palette, is that all of these colors are mixed with an equivalent amount of this color. So, this is lunar red rock. It's like a very granulating pigment. It is a gorgeous, deep, sort of brownish red, like a cool brownish red, and it gives everything a really warm, cozy, autumn, winter, like cold weather kind of feel. It's the mother color. Yeah, exactly. This is mom. This is mom of the palette. And I think she does a really beautiful job with this selection of couleurs. I really like it. So I'm gonna grab a little bit more black, because I do want this to be really nice and dark. And I might actually just add some blue. I think I'm gonna add some blue. This is the least blue of any palette I've ever used, because the blue that I used for this the pigment is it's not super strong. I find that like these pigments way stronger, and then the blue just wants to get eaten. It just kind of got very eaten by this red, but actually I think that works really, really well for this set of colors, that the blue is not particularly blue. I think it's cool. But it used to be cobalt blue deep. It's just kind of not anymore. Cursed RV says, I've been wanting to paint something using a mother color, but I've been in a bit of a rut with painting. Ooh, you should do it. It's a really fun way to make a painting feel very cohesive color-wise. I really like doing it. I have some, shoot, what was it that I got? I think it was raw umber. And I have a bunch of empty pans that I'm going to be filling with some colors plus raw umber. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And I'm hoping for a very like frog and toad colored palette with that, because if raw umber is like a kind of like a mid brown that's a bit warm, so I think that'll work really well. But I've done a few of them. I've done this one, I think was really, really good. And then I did another one with cobalt turquoise, which is a lot of fun. And has made for some interesting color blends, but it definitely does definitely does have the please call it the frog and toad palette. I shall, cursed jar of bees, I shall. It has the wonderful and very, very fun effect of I'm just gonna start painting this in and see how it looks. It's like if you took a painting that you did with just like a sort of primary rainbow, it's like if you just stuck like a really good Instagram filter over it. It just instantly makes it feel very like cohesive and put together in a very pleasant way. So yeah, gazillion out of 10 do recommend giving that a try. Whew. I think what I will say is that if you do decide to pick, find like a mom color, like an anchor that's reasonably like potent, I guess, in terms of its intensity. Because what you don't want to do is spend all this time sort of like mixing your paints together and have it turn out that, to be honest, it doesn't really look that different. Like the first time I tried doing it was with Potter's Pink. Because Potter's Pink is a gorgeous color. It's a very sort of warm, like soft, vintage, brownish pink. But it's also an incredibly weak pigment. And so to that end, what you ended up with, or what I ended up with, was a palette where most of the colors didn't really look that different. It didn't really change things that in that much of an interesting way as it would have if I'd picked something that had more intensity to it, like this Lunar Red Rock palette. So to that end, I would recommend just trying to interrogate the actual like intensity of whatever color you decide to choose for your color palette. Anyways, how long have you been painting? Asks Cursed Jar of Bees. That's such a hard question to answer. I started right before the pandemic and then kept my sanity with watercolor. Awesome. It's weirdly difficult to say. Because I'd been doing it kind of off and on for like years. I did a lot of bad paintings for years. There was a while, like when I was at university, in my 20s, I did, I would say, a reasonable amount of just like the odd kind of design and stuff, but I didn't really get that sort of super seriously into it until maybe like the late 20 teens. And then I've really, I think, sort of increased the thing when I started streaming art like 3 or 4 years ago. That I'd been doing it for a long time on and off before then. There we go. Some nice juicy looking crowberry jam. That's gonna take so stinking long to dry. But yeah, it's been weirdly like years, but some of that was very on and off. And then I kind of stopped actually during the I like that color a lot, says Cursed Jar Visa. Thank you. I feel like we landed on like a pretty nice jammy hue, I think. Which I'm quite happy about. But yeah. I kind of stopped for a while during like 2020. Not really on purpose, but more just because like I don't know, I think I was just depressed, and then not making art made me more depressed. And so I started streaming art in order to kind of force myself into making things, because making things makes me feel good. By way of keeping myself publicly accountable. Like I knew I wasn't necessarily going to keep up with doing it regularly unless I had a schedule that other people were expecting me to uphold. So I started doing it once a week, and then I moved to twice a week. Yeah. that I've been doing it since. But I've been doing like various types of sort of artistic stuff for many, many years before that. Like lino cut prints as well, and working with what else? Oh, like I used to do a lot more like fine liner, like ink pen drawings. But I kind of moved towards doing more with paint, in part because all of that like really meticulous cross hatching, like the tiny details that you need to do when you're sort of all of your shading is done with like tiny, tiny little pen marks. Just really exacerbated my repetitive strain, and my poor wrist was like, stop it. So I was like, okay, I'll do broad strokes instead, alright? Hello, Ernesto, welcome in. It's lovely to see you. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday, and a happy Monday to you too. Kirstar B says, I always start out meaning to do art, but lately I end up just scrolling YouTube videos of other people doing art. Oh, I mean, it's so easy to do. It's so easy to do. This does happen to me from time to time as well. Or I'll be looking up like a reference for something, or trying to remember, trying to figure out how to do something, and then I just end up stuck on the internet, for, ages, either, just watching someone else do the thing or falling down a research rabbit hole. Usually a bit of both. Or sometimes just being like, oh, you know what did I get to my phone for? I'm just gonna pop onto Tumblr, and then I just end up looking at pictures of Star Trek. Yes, anyways. Sorry, that was me struggling to get breath into my lungs, because my airways have not been great for the last couple of weeks. So apologies for that. I wish that this would dry a little bit faster. But, while that's drying, I guess I could paint in this little crowberry as well. So the crowberry is like a really deep... It's kind of this, but deeper. And I'm going to use a smaller brush to paint in the crowberry. And to be honest, I'm just using mostly the blue for that, which hopefully will work. I'm just going to quickly look up a picture of a crowberry. If you're not familiar with crowberries, they're like a wild berry. They grow in like northern climes, so you find them in... Thank you very much for the gnome husbands. Thank you. I forgot I gave them that theme tune. I hope you enjoyed it. That is a clip from The Rustic Dance by, I believe it was Lawrence Welk. I found it in a digital, a digital recording of an old tape from a Kmart store that was basically... So, back in the day, I don't know how they do it now, but back in the day, when stores would have music playing, and they called it Muzak, because it was the inoffensive, gentle, instrumental music that would play in shops and stuff. And this was a tape, a cassette tape of Muzak from like the 70s or the 80s, from Kmart, which was a department store at the time. And so it would have like pieces of music and then intercut with announcements and stuff that are like, hey, summer holidays are coming up. Why not check out our swimwear section for great deals for the whole family? That kind of thing. If you've ever been on our stream when a raid happens, that message that plays when there is a raid comes from that tape of Kmart music and announcements. I did not know there would be music, says Cursed Jar of Bees. I'm sorry or thank you? I'm sorry or thank you. Where did you find this tape? It sounds amazing. Oh man, somewhere in the dark corners of the internet when like vaporwave was really popular. Shoot. I have no idea what the website was or if I'd be able to find it again. But you know what? I'm going to look right now because why not? There is, okay, it looks like there's a lot of, there's a lot of YouTube videos of old Muzak, but there is also, I found a page on archive.org, which I think was where I found it, and I cannot get it to load. So, yay! You gotta wait for this paint to dry anyway, you might as well. I'm having a look, my friend, I'm having a look. This site can't be reached. No, archive.org, do it! Please do it! Come on, give us attention, Kmart shoppers! No! Oh, shoot. I hope this doesn't stop working, but listen, if I can't get this link to work, I will pop this potentially not loading link in the chat. If you can get this link to work, awesome. If you can't, YouTube it. It looks like there's a bunch of people have put old Kmart Muzak tapes and the like onto YouTube. And if you want any for your personal collection, you can always record them off of YouTube. But for download purposes, I sure wish this website would work. No, it's not loading for me. Oh, beans. This was from like 6 months ago. Shoot. Well, heck. Hopefully it will load. I don't know. Anyways, but that's the thing. Still waiting for this paint to dry. That's okay. And I'm going to attempt to paint in this little crowberry. Oh, I've just realized I actually have to paint 4 crowberries because I've put a picture of crowberries on the... It's working for you, says Cursed Jar of Bees. Oh, hell yeah. Maybe I'll try it on a different browser later on. Or maybe I'll just try it when I'm not actively streaming because that has a tendency to break things. But I've just realized that we are about to go into a break in just a minute. So I probably shouldn't start painting anything new yet anyway. So I will, we'll let this paint dry a little bit longer. I will hope that if anyone does want to find some cool old sort of recordings of this kind of ephemera, this kind of like media ephemera is just so interesting to me. Like I'm just glad that there are people who are interested in archiving this kind of stuff because, you know, it's just background. It's just nothing to a lot of people, but to me it's like, this is fascinating. Hold on to it. Preserve this. You know what I mean? So I love that this exists. Anyways, I'm going to have to take a super quick break, everyone. I will be back in just a second. And please, in the meantime, enjoy the BRB song, which is not Muzak. It comes from Epidemic, because I have an Epidemic subscription. Anyways, I'll be back very shortly. You're not going to miss anything. BRB. Hey, come back. Hi, everybody. Hello. We returneth. Yeah, as I mentioned this before, I have an Epidemic subscription, which is why we have the nice starting screen music and also the nice BRB music, because I have a YouTube channel, which is here. You can subscribe if you want. You can watch my videos if you want. They're real silly. I was hoping to film my next one when my tooth stuff was over, but now it's been like a 2-month ordeal, and it's probably going to be even longer than that. So I think I might as well just bite the bullet and have like a weird tooth while I'm filming it. You can't really see it. It just annoys me. It's making me more tired than usual because there's like a weird imposition in my mouth. And also, I can't really eat solid foods, so my diet's been very strange. She's like, what am I gonna have for lunch today? Cup of soup. Yay! I'll try and eat rice noodles and hope it doesn't make my mandible hurt. Anyways, but yeah, so working on that. Actually working on 2 videos at once right now, because I've got one that I have scripted and just need to finish filming that is all about milk. Fascinating stuff, and this this one, the sewing project, I am forcing myself to finish it quickly for content purposes. And, you know, if that's what lights a fire under me to actually, like, hack my productivity and get something done relatively fast, then hell yeah, good for me. Because the last sewing project I did was a petticoat. And a petticoat took me 3 months. And a petticoat is effectively, like, 2 rectangles that you sew together and then gather the top of it into a waistband. That should not take 3 months. I mean, I will say, in about an hour, I managed to get about this much back stitching done. So it's not like a fast process, but like, you know. Anyways, but that's that. Crowberries. I'm sure you're curious. So crowberry is a berry that grows wild. And you can find it in fairly northern climes, like subarctic climes. Did you do it by hand? Said Carstar of Bees. I would take 3 months too. Yes, I did do it by hand. I don't actually own a sewing machine, so any sewing that I do is done entirely by hand. So you know, these things do take time, but I would love to get a little faster at it while somehow managing to schedule it around all the other things that I have to do in my life. And also give myself some rest and relaxation time in there as well. Maybe I'm being too ambitious. I don't know. Anyways, it don't matter. It's all good. Let's paint this little crowberry. Oh no. Oh heck. Oh heck. Oh heck. Unfortunately, I painted over its navel, so now I can't see where I don't know what the sort of like pip looking bit on the on one side. I'm calling it a navel. I don't know what it's actually called, but you know the little, when you see like a blueberry as well, and they've got the one side that looks like it's got a little navel, like that thing. But yeah, anyways, I don't own a sewing machine, so any sewing that I do is quote unquote historically accurate because I'm hand sewing, but also historically inaccurate because I'm using like, you know, Gutermann Sew All, probably synthetic. Oh yeah, 100% polyester thread. But it's also the cheapest and the easiest to find in the widest range of colors. So, you know, somewhere I make the occasional concession to such things, though I try not to excess. I prefer natural fibers where I can. But I will also just use the Sew All thread. Anyways, we have a terrible drawing time redeem. I have painted in the crowberry. And I'm too far south, I think, in the UK to see crowberries out and about, but apparently they do sometimes grow wild up in the Scottish Highlands. You see them quite a lot in, like, northern Scandinavia. I once bought a tiny jar of crowberry jam in the airport in Iceland. I'm sure it was very expensive, but I didn't know what the exchange rate for Icelandic krona was, and at that point I was like, well, I'm stuck in the airport for like 3 hours, so I might as well have some fun. Q-Choose, I am baffled by your prompt, but you know what? I'm gonna give it a good old try anyways. I'm gonna set this painting nice and flat on one side so that it can dry safely while I draw Sammy with an octopus arm for her nose, using it to hold her sewing supply genuine Danish biscuit. What? What? Okay. This is terrible drawing time. Where bad things happen and we feel scared and uncomfortable sometimes. And then sometimes we just draw a little picture of Sherma. And we love Sherma. He's just a little guy and he sings a lovely little song. Anyways, Dan says, hello, am I in time for some wonderful art? You know, friend, that remains to be seen. Anyways, it's lovely to see you, Dan. Welcome in. Is Sweetheart home yet? No, Sweetheart is sadly still at the office. I'm very sad about this. because we are well past schedule for a hug, but sadly he's still at work. But I'm sure he'll be here later, at least sometime before the end of Strim. Um, but yeah, I have to draw something. I have to draw something. I don't know how I feel about it, but I'll try my best. Anyways, this is terrible drawing time for anyone who's new here. Um, Sorry, I've just seen a text from a person. Okay. Anyways, terrible drawing time is a phenomenon where for 5,000 channel points, I have 5 minutes or less to draw a character or concept of your choosing from memory or sight unseen on the terrible drawing canvas. This is the current iteration. I think the last thing that we drew was, this is obviously a pair of great tits. Sitting on a fence, having a little conversation on a nice sunny day. But yeah, anyways. I just texted my moderator / spouse because I was attempting to. Hey, what a great pair of great tits! Thank you. I had to. I mean, considering that they're drawn in 5 minutes or less from memory, I feel pretty all right with them. I would like to do some. I would like to do a painting of some tits at some point. The bird that is called Tit. There are a lot of different varieties. I'll probably paint coal tits. I don't know why. I've seen them in the tree outside my house, and so they're special to me. But yes. Then there's also the titmouse. If you've ever seen a tufted titmouse, oh my god, they're so cute. They're so cute. Also the tit tyrant, very cute. Haven't seen such a nice pair in a while, says Q2. Aw. Y'all. Anyways, but yeah, terrible drawing time. I have to draw. I want to paint boobies with big blue duck feet. I love their blue feet. They're so cute. That's such a fun feature. I love when birds just have like one really interesting colorful feature. I think that is so fun. Like the boobies with the big blue duck feet. Pink-footed geese also adorable. And just in terms of like interesting colorness, can I shout out the Eurasian dotterel for just being like, hey bird convention, we do not subscribe. We are gender non-conforming. In as much as in most bird species, but not all bird species, the more colorful, in terms of like the sexual dimorphism of bird species, typically the male is more colorful than the female, but the Eurasian dotterel says no, F that. This is the lady and she's real colorful and fancy, and the man is like kind of bland by comparison. And I just think that's neat. So I want to paint some Eurasian dotterels at some point. Also, I don't know about y'all, but I love a dotterel. I think dotterels are very cute. Speaking of singular wonderful features, Sammy with octopus arm, his nose is a very singular specific I mean, it sure is that, Q2s. Let me just, okay, my mod / spouse had some needs just then that I've texted back. So I'm going to start a timer for me with an octopus arm for a nose, which I hate. But, you know, why not? Let's just listen, actually, no, screw it. It is Halloween month. So if there's any month that I'm just going to be transformed into some sort of, like, horrific, like, creature, then this is the month to do it. Okay, the timer is going, but chat says hi. There. Done. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Me. I'm wearing my hair down today, so I'm gonna draw myself with my hair down. Man, normally I start with my nose as, like, the, the, like, centerpiece of my face, and it's a lot harder to do when that is, like, a tentacle? But hey, why not? Why not? Okay, so here's my ear. Here's my whittle face. And which side does my... Oh man, I have to remember which side my hair part's on. Okay. I've just had to look at my PNG tuber to figure out which side my hair is parting on. Because I have a terrible memory. Also, my hair is super messy today. So let's try and shed that out a bit. There's my neck. There's my extra chin. Because I have an extra one for insurance, just in case anything happens to my regular chin. I also have a second one just underneath, just in case I need it. It's certainly a centerpiece of your face now. Well, isn't that just great? And I'm going to be holding on to... I don't know how I'm holding on to this tin, but hey, you know what? I sure am. It's going to have some fun biscuit designs on it. It's definitely not full of sewing supplies. And then all the little... Oh, I'm holding on to it with my little tentacle suckers. Because obviously if I've got an octopus tentacle, then it's going to have little tentacle suckers. I hate this for me. This is... Your nose has a bunch of suction nubbins. It's cute. Yeah. I said, well, Joe, I am now an eldritch horror, so that's fun for me. Having a great time with that. Yeah. I'm gonna give myself the hoodie that I was wearing earlier. Love this for me. I'm going to be holding on to... With my actual hand, I'm going to be holding on to my sewing needle. And with this hand, I'm going to be holding on to some fabric that I'm stitching. Leaky, thank you!
Oh hell yeah, Leaky just subscribed. I'm sleepy, but please enjoy this resubscribing.
Thank you so much, Leaky. That was loud. Ah, shoot. Was it louder than usual? Has it reset? Because I think I actually turned the volume down on it recently. Or am I just really... Is my speech very quiet? I guess next question. It shouldn't be, but there was a little while ago where people were reporting that I was really quiet and I couldn't figure out why because all of my settings were as they should be, and then I realized that on my actual, like, physical microphone over here, at some point it got bumped and the gain got turned down. Anyways, hello Leaky, thank you so much for the sub. I very much appreciate it. I'm drawing myself with a tentacle for a nose. Yay! Oh no! Was it more loudish than normal, I guess, is the question. Because, as I say, I haven't changed any settings, but I can always have a look in streamy alert doodad. Because I did have to turn them down a little while ago. So it might have, if it's reset itself to factory defaults. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Log in with Twitch. Anyways, I don't think so. Okay, alright. My volume was up from recruiter meeting, says Joe. I see. Sorry. Anyways. This is, nightmarish? I think is a good way of putting it, but in our defense, it is Halloween month, so there. Also, my moderator / spouse says, hi, chat. I'm going to tell him I love him. Love you. Okay, anyways. But yeah, so this is terrible drawing time. I don't have any real pictures to compare it to, I guess. Normally, if we've drawn something that is, like, something without reference, I would compare it to, like, an actual, a picture of the actual thing. I can't really do that here, except, I guess, let me see if I can find a semi-recent selfie and we can just compare and contrast. Okay, here is a semi-recent selfie. And here is an artist's rendering. What do we think, chat? How did I do? um, Accurate? I hope so. Anyways. So yeah, Q2s, I hope you're happy. Charles, thank you for the 10 out of 10. I appreciate it. Unless that's 10 out of 100, in which case I'm doing terribly. But hi, I hope you're well. It's lovely to see you. Welcome on in. Alright, this is our crowberry jam. The jam is still wet, but I think the color... I think that if I can get you to stay in focus, I think the color looks stunning. Love it. Anyways, 13 out of 10 says Joe. Thank you. Happy Canadian Turkey Day, says Tals. Happy Canadian Turkey Day to you too. Thank you, thank you. I hope that the... I hope that your Monday, whether it is a scheduled holiday or just a regular old day, I hope it is treating you super well. Anyways, I tried my best. Anyways, I want Tentacle Nose Sammy as a sticker now or a postcard, says Q2. I think you are the only person who would want that, and I don't know if it's cost effective for me to make merch of something that one person will want. I just, as a business decision, I have to feel semi-confident that more than a person is going to buy it. And I'm really bad at that, by the way. I'm super bad at knowing what people are going to want to buy from me. I have a shop, by the way, which you can find right here. So feel free to buy any of the things that I have made. I have continuing medical bills at the moment, so, you know, every little... Or, you know, like, just, if you wanted to tell your friends, that would be cool, too. But if you don't want to do any of those things and you just want to hang out with me, that is also cool. There's no pressure whatsoever. But if something happens to tickle your fancy, by all means, you can do that. Anyways. Anywho, does that say crowberry? It says crowberry. It says crowberry. As in crowberries. As in the berry in the crow's beak is a crowberry. It's crowberry jam. Crowberries. As I was saying earlier, get into focus. Focus, you ding dong. There we go. As I was saying earlier, crowberries, I blame my eyes. It's also, you know, honestly, it is also the, cursive text. It is the curse of text. It is cursive text. But crowberries grow in northern climes, but, like, quite a lot of northern climes. So you find them in, like, northern North America, like, you know, sort of from Labrador across to, like, Alaska. But also in Iceland has crowberries. That's where I got a tiny, tiny jar of crowberry jam, I believe. I believe that's what I got. It was years ago, so don't quote me on that. I got a crowberry something. Maybe it was crowberry liqueur. I can't remember. Anyways, it was a tiny amount of it in any case, and it probably cost about £5. Perhaps a stream sticker since Tals. Oh, why would you do this to me? It's horrific. Me and my tentacle nose. Anyways. But yes, crowberry. It is, so because of its, you can also find it in the Scottish Highlands. It does grow in the UK, but nowhere near where I live down south. But you can find it sometimes up in the Scottish Highlands, apparently. But because of its, like, being very happy to grow up in the up in the sort of like more northern climes where not a lot of fruits and veg grow wild, it is a part, like a staple of the cuisines of the indigenous peoples of more northern regions, like the Inuit in North America and also the Sami in northern Scandinavia. And it's a little tart berry. It looks kind of like a blueberry. It's tart. You can make it into jam, and you can bake it into stuff. like pies and what have you, and it blends well with other berries. And it's also just, it's cute, and it's called crowberry. So, and also, the hooded crow also lives in, you know, parts of Scandinavia, and crowberries grow in parts of Scandinavia. So I was like, what if the crow made the crowberry jam? In that fun. It was by sheer coincidence that I happened to want to paint a crow, and I remembered that crowberries exist, because as I say, they don't grow anywhere near me. It's just 'twas a fortuitous coincidence. There is like a puddle. There is a puddle of paint over here, and I would like it to dry, please. But before it does, I guess I can attempt to paint in these 3 little berries here as well. The paint on my palette has dried completely because I've been waffling on for so dang long. So let me just reactivate that, and then we will paint in these little crowberries. If I was being very English about it, I'd call them crowberries, but I'm not. So it's crowberry. But yes, and now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Yay. The more you know. Anyways. I wish I was the kind of person who made jams and stuff on the regular. I think it's so fun, but then to make jam, generally you end up making, you know, it's because you have like a bumper crop of stuff, and I have to buy my berries from the supermarket, so I never have a bumper crop, and they're very expensive because I bought them at, like, you know, Tesco or Waitrose. So a small amount, you know, I would need, like, in order to properly make, like, a potto of jam, I'd need to spend, like, 8 quid on berries, and that just, you know, at that point, it's like, I could just buy jam if I wanted that, because then I'm gonna have too much jam, and going through the whole, like, canning process of, like, sterilizing your jars and doing all that jazz is not for me. So it's just like, do I dare? Do I do it? And the answer is almost always no, except when I come into an amount of something you don't see very often at the supermarket, like gooseberries. Dan says, next week, can we do a goose making gooseberry jam? Oh my god, that'd be so cute. That'd be so cute. I think I've drawn a gooseberry, like a gooseberry goose before. I think that was a previous terrible drawing canvas, which is somewhere in the studio, but I can't tell you where because I don't know. But we've drawn a gooseberry goose, so I would say maybe, why not? I'm not sure what we're doing next week. I'm doing, at the moment, I'm attempting to do kind of a loose interpretation of the Stream Ink prompt list. But I'm not, as you know, I haven't been holding myself to, like, doing the whole list this year. Partially because I'm tired. I think largely because I'm tired. But I lost my Google search for the hooded crow, so I need to look it up again. But yeah, I'm a tired bear. So I haven't been able to do every prompt in the list, but I wanted to do the crow prompt because I thought it would be fun, and I think they're cute. I'm like, look at this little buddy. They're so stinking cute. But I might do another, because I've done 2. This is the 3rd prompt that I'm doing for the Stream Ink prompt list. I might do one more, or I might just do some different stuff for the next few weeks. I haven't decided yet. It's a nice thing to do, but also there's some other stuff that I kind of want to get on with. So, yeah, I don't know yet. The answer is a resounding I don't know yet. I'm also aware of the fact that coming up is like the busiest and most important time for someone who has a money business to sell stuff And I do. I sell prints and stickers and art and that kind of thing, and commissions as well. I do commissions. I also have a Patreon tier where you can get an original A7 sized painting every month in right to your door if you want that. It's Well, I was gonna say it's not super popular, but also I've kept the numbers of it extremely limited because I can't commit to doing that many of those in a month. Um, I think if I tried to make my entire living off of that, I would give myself horrible repetitive strain. Um, so quantities of that are very limited. But a money business, says Dan. You know, a money business. I don't know. Listen. I'm an artist, not a business person. So all that jazz is kind of a struggle for me. I'm gonna paint in our burb's feet, I think. Feets. Or at least I'm gonna get like a layer of foot color down. And then later on I'll add, sort of bird foot texture to it, because bird feet have that. They got that texture. They got that rad bird foot texture. Their little claws. When I was very young, my grandma had a budgie. It was green and it was very cute. And it had those little claw feet. Aw, I miss that, but I miss my grandma's budgie from when I was like 4. What's up with that? You make it sound like money laundering. No, it's you know what I mean. A money business, a business where you sell things and people give you money in exchange for your goods. That's a money business. Anyways, Q2's no. Leaky. Thank you very much for those amazing budgie emotes. I need to embiggen that. That's adorable. Oh, look at it go. Thank you. Very, very cute. Anywho, I've never painted. There are so many different types of bird that I keep meaning to get around to painting, and I keep not painting, and I really need to get on that. I'm also noticing there's some variation in the shades of black in this plumage. Can you see that? Like, some of it is like a warmer black and some of it is a cooler black. That's really cool. That's Kiwi. He's the best verb. It is an excellent verb. But I would also like to submit, if I may, and Kiwi. I think they could be friends. Anyways. Sometimes bluish, says Tals. Yes. Okay. Alright. Okay. I'm trying to... How best can I...
Plap, 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 plap.
Tals, thank you very much for the plaps. Thank you. Hello, little buddy. Oh, I'm gonna do... Hold on. Scritchies. Happy little burb scritches. Oh... Just the scritchiest. Oh, he's a good little birdie. Just little scritches right on the end of your beak. Oh, so nice, so lovely. Very, 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 very pleasant. Who doesn't love scritches? Am I right? Anyways, I think I'm trying to figure out the best way to paint in this dark plumage, because I'm seeing that there is actually kind of a variation in the shades of black, which complicates things a little bit. I think what I might do is do kind of a base layer of like light black and then kind of go over it with different shades of black. Do you know the game Kiwi? It's a co-op game about 2 postal kiwis. Yes, I've seen it. I've seen gameplay of it, and it looks very cute. I have not played it, but it looks absolutely fresh as heck. Hell yeah. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do is just gather up a little bit more of my neutral tint. Take this bit of wet paint that's just kind of been hanging out here for a wee while. And we're just going to do kind of an underlayer of the sort of darker areas of the plumage as best as I can. I'm looking at my reference because I don't want to. Light black, is that different to gray, says Leaky. Yes. I mean, no, technically, but yes. Anyways. It's pre-black. It's our pre-black layer, okay? And then I will use, to differentiate the bits of plumage that we will have coming in subsequently, I will use the neutral tint and also the Mars black that has the lunar red rock added to it for warmth. I think that should work quite nicely, hopefully. Those little tail feathers in there, delightful. Obviously incomplete, but it gives us an area to work with for adding in our different feather colors and then our feather textures on top of that. It's one shade up from dark white, says Dan. Oh man. See, the thing is, as an annoying color person, light black and dark white do genuinely make sense to me, damn it. Like, they do, okay? Shh. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Anyways. I'm using a fairly big brush for this because I don't want to be seeing brush strokes in here. I just want like a nice field of texture. But does make it kind of difficult for some of these slightly more fiddly sort of edge bits. But I think that ought to do for a start. Buff titanium is dark white. Hell yeah, there we go. See, someone gets it. It's not just me. Anyways, see, the thing about buff titanium is now that I'm just imagining titanium with like really big biceps, you know? That's buff titanium. What would be the opposite of that? I don't know. Buff titanium, and then is there a particularly strong sounding or weak sounding black paint? Shy Fox 3, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in, Fox. It's lovely to see you, and I hope that you're having the loveliest of lovely Mondays. Hello, hello. I'm gonna do the stems and stuff on the crowberry plant, because what the hey. I think that would be a good place to move to, so I can wait for this gubbins to dry. Alright, so crowberry fun. The greenery, I would say generally, is quite a like vibrant green in contrast to like the color of the berries. Like if you look at, this is a really nice high res photo of some crowberries, and like get a load of that greenery is a really like bright green. Neutral tint sounds pretty weenie. Yeah, it does. Hey, you know what? Hold on. There's neutral tint. Yay. Anyways, hi friends, I'm Tals. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Galaxy brain dad pun there. Love it. Anywho, I'm running out of a beverage, so I hope I have a break coming up soon. That's it for one cup of tea. I am going to make myself a Milo when I'm on break, because I haven't had one of those in a little while. I think I mentioned the, I think I mentioned maybe it was last stream. Maybe it was the stream. I know, I think it was the stream before last. And this is so stupid. This is such a stupid thing to have any thoughts about, but here we are. And that is that I'm using my orange for this, for the like stalks of the crowberry plant here. Because it's quite a light brown that the stalks are made of as well, so I think that this sort of orangey hue should work well for that. And then I will pop all of the little leaves. I'm just gonna improvise a little. I thought about drawing in the little leaves in pencil, but I decided that actually we really don't need to. So I decided to not do that. There we go. Okay. Now that needs to dry. Oh, shoot. Oh, what have I done? Oh, beans. I think we can probably do this as well. For which I kind of wanted to do one of those classic, like, little sort of, like, gingham check covers for the jam jar. Because I thought that would be kind of cute. So if I can figure out how to do that, that'll be super rad. Let me clean my brush first, because I think I'm gonna want some red for that. But actually, ooh, if I use this red instead of just like the straight ahead super bright red, or maybe if I add, okay, I'm thinking some of this red, and then some purple blended in, just to kind of, because this red is quite warm and very intense. So to kind of chill it out a smidge, I think a little bit of our manganese violet-esque paint should do quite well. Anyways. But yeah, what was I saying? I'm sure I had a point at some point and it's completely gone. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, I just opened a tin. I just opened a new tin of pumpkin spice matcha. And I don't know if I just got like an actually incorrect tin a while back that I really, really liked. But this tin is not, it wasn't super spicy. And I was like, where's the pumpkin spice? Where did the pumpkin spice go? I'm here for the pumpkin spice and I ain't getting it. I mostly, it just tasted like a sort of like oat milk sweet matcha, which, you know, not complaining about necessarily, but I was hoping for something where it was a bit more pronounced in the area of the spiced pumpkin pie. And it was not so much, which made me feel a little bit sad. But never mind. Okay, I think I'm just gonna start. Oh no, I've got two. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see it all, but I've got like just two stray bristles that are sticking perpendicular to the rest of the brush. Can I get those to behave? Can I get those to just fall into place, please? I would love it if I could do that, because otherwise, if they're sticking out in a weird direction, we might end up in a situation where like the paint goes where I don't want it, and that would make me feel really sad. So I would rather it didn't do that. So, oh no, fingies crossed, it's fine. Ooh, this is a lovely jammy color now. Hell yeah. I'm gonna make this the stripe size of this check a little bit bigger, I think. Ooh. I've got this, it's tied with a little bow, so I kind of have to navigate around that. Oh no. If this turns out nice, it might end up becoming like a sticker or something, I think. Because I think it's cute. If it doesn't turn out nice, we'll pretend this never happened. And that's okay too. Oh, Cursed Jar of Bees says it looks like the blue and the red are granulating and separating, and it's really, really pretty. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. That's what I love about those pigments, is that they're very granular, and sometimes that is exactly what I want. Sometimes it ain't, but sometimes it super is, and I love when it works real nice. It is a lovely feeling. I just think it's a fun aesthetic. I'm a big fan. I don't always want my pigments to granulate, but, you know, sometimes, as a sometimes treat, I think it can make for a really aesthetically interesting piece. It's really nice for, like, landscapes and that kind of thing, especially, I think. Definitely enjoy it for that. If these stripes are imperfect, that's okay. This cloth was hand woven, and that's what I'm gonna stick to. It's fine. But again, the way I see it, if you're coming to a painting that I've done, you should not be expecting photorealism, because you will not find it. If your benchmark for a quality painted work is photorealism, there are other painters that you can look at that you will probably enjoy more than me. And you know what? They're doing a stunning job, and you should congratulate them and maybe give them some money. But if you're holding me to the same set of expectations, you will be disappointed. And that's not because I'm doing anything wrong or doing anything poorly. I'm just doing something that is aesthetically not what you are expecting. It's like that time someone told me that they weren't impressed by a little, like, sketchbook video that I posted. And I thought it was such a weird comment, because it's like, I didn't post this to impress you with my technical skill. I posted this to just, you know, show a little day in the artistic life where I happened to do a little, like, probably 10-minute sketch in a sketchbook while I was in a cafe waiting for my spouse to come home from work. And they were like, I'm not impressed. And I was like, that was never my intention. So, okay? Question mark? Like, I guess. Cursed Jar Beast says, early in my painting I was gifted some of the Schminke super granulating paints, and I swatched them and put them in a drawer because they felt very not for beginners. I was so intimidated by them. Cursed Jar of Bees, if you have not taken them out of the drawer, I highly recommend you take them out of the drawer. I have a handful of the Schminke super granulating paints, and I find them super fun. And at least the colors that I have are very pretty. So, wholeheartedly recommend you remove those from your drawer and actually give them a go if you haven't in the intervening time period, because they are super fun. And I do recommend. My favorite of the colors that I have, I think, is Shire Blue, and the reason that my favorite is Shire Blue is that Shire Blue is green. I think it's in the context of the, like, Shire set of colors, because they have different, like, themed sets that you can buy as, like, a set of 3 or 5 paints, I think, in different color schemes for different contexts. Like, they have like forest and galaxy colors and yada yada yada. I'm realizing that my stripes have gotten progressively thicker as I've gone on, which was not intentional. That was a silliness. I might have to go back and just make this one a little bit, give this one a little bit more width, so that it's a little bit more matchy-matchy with the ones over on the other side, because otherwise it looks a little bit weird. Okay, I think that's kind of balanced it out a little bit. Forest blue is green too, says Cursed Jar of Bees. I guess it's because the different sets, like the forest range, the desert range, etc., they want to create a fairly cohesive color palette in and of themselves. So obviously that's not, I didn't just buy like a set of the paints, I just picked 5 colors that I liked, because that's as much money as I had. to spend on paints. So I bought 5 of them. I think I got I got Shire Blue, Desert Yellow, I think Tundra Orange, um, some kind of red or pink, I can't remember. And then like Galaxy Violet, I think, which is Galaxy if I'm thinking, or is it Deep Sea? No, Deep Sea Violet, and then maybe Galaxy Pink. I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. But whatever the violet is bluer than the blue that I got, which I think is hilarious. Anyways, Q2's is on a 5-stream steak. Thank you very much for the 5 steaks. I hope you enjoy them with whatever steak accoutrements that you like. If you're gonna have chips, please be careful because I broke my tooth on a chip. And now it's become a saga. So, anyways, Kirsten RV says, I love Tundra Orange. It's the perfect sand color for beach landscapes. It is such a beautiful color. I absolutely adore it. I wonder if I can find an example of a piece that I've done with the colors we're talking about. It might take me a while because I don't think I've painted with them in some amount of time. Question mark? I can't remember the last time I painted with them, but I know that I have. So let me just have a little scroll through and see if I can find the most recent piece that I did with them. Time moves so flippin' quickly in ways that kind of alarm me sometimes, and I'm like, damn, okay. When did that happen? And I realized that like the last thing that I painted with these was 2024 apparently, because I am back at the end of last year on my Instagram and I still haven't found anything. Oh boy, it's been over a year. I should really fetch those out at some point soon. Maybe later this week I will do something using the super granular. I think this piece was done with the super granulating. Yeah, it was. I can tell that it was because I recognize Shire Blue. Moment, let me... There we go, okay. Alright, this is the last piece I painted with these paints, I think. I believe it was. Just a little cottagecore moment. You chipped your tooth, says Stan. Oh, I chipped it so hard it broke. So yes. Anyways, just gonna put that out there now because this is a print you can get in my shop. Anyways, those colors are stunning, says Cursed RVs. Oh, thank you. I had a very fun time. I think my favorite bit in terms of the colors is the sort of grassy bit of the garden in front. I really like the way that came out. That was a fun bit of sort of deliberately dabbing at it with different paints until it looked neat. But thank you very much. I enjoyed painting this one. It was a fun time. We've got the little guys on their porch. They've been one of them is in his little like gardening dungarees and he's been picking strawberries, and the other one's just come out with a nice cup of coffee in the morning, having a good time. But yeah, that was a thing. Dan says, get it in the shop. Support the business, or as we call it, the money business. Yes, it's the money business. Oh my god. I'm so stupid. Anyways, listen. It's fine. I'm glad you approve it. I should, you know what? You've inspired me, chat. I'm gonna bust out the Schminke Super Granulation range for whatever I paint next. I don't know what I'm painting next, but it will be a super granulating paint set. I mean, all of the squeezy tubes of paint that I blended into this palette with the Lunar Red Rock Mom. With the exception of Lunar Red Rock, the rest of them are all just like the regular range of watercolors from Schminke. Lunar Red Rock is by Daniel Smith Paints. Another, I think, very good maker of watercolors and stuff. I have I have a tube of their reformulated quinacridone gold that I've been okay, art people, does anyone else hoard art supplies when they feel like special? You're like, "Oh, I can't use this up." So, I do this, and it's such a horrible thing to do. I have this tube of the, like, I have this 5 milliliter tube of the reformulated quinacridone gold. If you don't know the saga, excuse me, of quinacridone gold, it is it was a single pigment paint, very, very well loved among artists because it's this absolutely stunning shade of like gold and yellow, right? That then was discontinued because the manufacturer that made the pigment, their primary market is actually like the paints for the automotive industry. And I guess that color just isn't cool enough for those people, and so they stopped making it, which means that you can't get the old version anymore. But various manufacturers of watercolors have recreated as close as you can get to it using blending other pigments together. PO49. But so I have a tube of Daniel Smith Paint's reformulated quinacridone gold, and it's delightful, but I haven't used it, and I'm scared to, because I'm pretty sure that I heard that one of the pigments that they put in the reformulated quinacridone gold is also being discontinued. And I'm like, no. Now this is like a precious this is a precious finite resource. I can't use it up. I can't use it up. What if I put it in a painting and then the painting ends up being bad and I wasted this precious resource on a painting that sucks? Do you understand the amount of pressure I'm under? Cursed Jar of Bees says, I like Aussie red gold better than Quin gold. I wonder if it's in danger too. You know, let me just I'm hoping that no, because I also think that Aussie red gold is gorgeous. In case anyone is curious, here's what it looks like swatched. Ain't that just delightful? But I also don't know what the what Aussie red gold is made of. So I'm gonna find out. It's the rich golden color of ochre cliffs set aflame at sunset. Doesn't that just sound romantic? It is this one from Daniel Smith Paints is a mix of PY83, PR101, and PV19. In case you don't know how pigment numbers work, basically the P stands for pigment, and then the next letter stands for what type of pigment it is. So like PY is a yellow pigment, PR is a red pigment, and then PV is a violet pigment. I don't have most of these memorized, so I don't think any of these are ones that I know of that might be discontinued. But what is PY83? Let me see if I can find out. No, don't correct my spelling. PY83 is a thing. Let me search for it. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, this search is not helping, and now I'm just being quiet on stream. There's a break coming up, so I'll look it up during the break, and then we'll chat about it more if people want to know more things about pigments and stuff. This is the kind, this really interests me as well. So you're in good company, Cursed Jar of Bees, and to everyone else, I'm sorry. I'm gonna add our contrast weaving stripe here, such that our piece becomes a cute little gingham check. And if it looks a little bit wiggity wonky, that's just because it is, it's hand woven. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Shh, don't worry about it. It's all good. Anyways, we are about to go into a break. I shouldn't have started painting. So, I'm going to pop on the BRB screen, and then I'll finish working on the stripey doodad when we come back. Please enjoy the BRB screen in the meantime. You might see some ads, and I do apologize for that, but you won't miss anything. So, I'll see you very shortly. Have a drink, have a stretch, and I'll see you very, very soon. BRB. Hello. I'm back. Thank you for sticking around, if you are still here, after the BRB. And hello again. It's nice to have returned. I made myself an additional beverage. I now have a Milo. So cozy. Nice, delicious chocolatey milk in oat milk. Yum, yum. Anyways, so I tried to do a little bit of looking of the different, pigments that make up this, blend. Yum, says Joe. Oh, it's so good. Curse Jar of Bees, has reported on PY83 is a reddish yellow or orange yellow pigment, otherwise known as diarylide yellow. I am not saying that correctly, but I also don't know how it's pronounced. It is a warm, bright, and transparent color that can appear more orange when used thickly like a pumpkin custard color. Oh my god, that sounds so good. It's not a color that I see... it's not a color name that I see very often. But it's blended here with, among one other one, PR101. And PR101 is an interesting pigment. It's one of those pigments that I think, depending on how it's been processed, in and of itself produces a butt ton of different colors. So from the same pigment number, we've got our Mars reds, but we've also got our transparent oxide reds. But we've also got our transparent oxide browns. And also I think and also an orange oxide, also Indian red. There's a lot of reds and browns and oranges that you can make out of a single PR101, depending, I suppose, on what you actually do with the material, which I think is cool because I am also a big nerd. I would love to learn more about, like, the science of pigments and how but different pigments are made in very different ways depending on what the material is, because some pigments are made out of, like, rocks and dirt and stuff, and some are much more synthetic, I think. What's PV19? That's a violet pigment. That's the third one that is making up our little blend that I'm... Oh, I think that's just quinacridone violet. Yeah, it's good old quin violet, which is a nice purple color. The quinacridones are really interesting because, again, quinacridone is loads of different colors depending on what you do with it. It's neat, and a lot of them are real pretty. Anyways, studying paint and pigment is another thing I do to avoid actually painting some Curse Jerpies. That is so fair. That is so fair. I feel like most of the time these days I avoid painting by just waffling at length on stream, I guess. Oops! Oh no! Here I go again. Anyways. Where does this next stripe want to be? I feel like it kind of wants to be roughly where this ribbon is, so I guess I'll just have a bit of the stripe is hanging out beneath the ribbon, thusly. And hopefully that will look appropriate. Anyways. There we go. Just a nice little rustic bit of decor here. And hopefully the fact that it looks extremely hand-woven is fine. Like, whatever. Anyways, you get it, says Curse Jarpies. I mean, considering the number of art streams that I do where I spend, like, the first hour of stream not actually doing any art, which I feel like is fairly standard for a stream, honestly. It's unusual that I tend to, within the first 20 minutes of stream, actually start gaming on my game streams. And that's usually just because whatever it is, I'm really keen to actually get into it. Well, that looks somewhat uneven in terms of stripe distribution, but never mind. If you're not using a drying tool, watercolor does have a bit of downtime to mess around while the layers are drying. It really does. I mean, this jam layer took absolutely bloody ages. And I didn't really want to futz with things too much while I was waiting for that. I feel like there's too much space between the. I didn't do very good space distribution with these stripes after all, I think. I kind of just want to imply something here just to make it feel a little bit less weird. Yeah, okay, I think that's fine. I think that looks fine. I think it does what it needs to do. It doesn't need to be perfect. So I'm not gonna concern myself too much about perfection because meh. I don't care to. It is the way to concerning yourself overly with perfection in your art is just the way to foolishness, really. And I shan't do that to myself. Sometimes you really just gotta declare, good enough. And that's okay. Anyways. So I'm gonna do that. That's fine. But what I am gonna do now is give myself a nice foliage green. And for that, I'm gonna start with yellow. Because our green is insane, frankly, but also just not quite of a fresh, springy enough of a green for this. But as you can see, I barely touched the green paint, and it's just like, wow! Wow, what if I was, like, really intense and bright? Hi. Okay, alright, green. Go off, I guess. Okay. See, I'm gonna pick up just a little bit more of you, and look! I barely touched that paint pan, and that just added so much color! What the heck? I'm gonna load this up with yellow. And now I've made it too thick again. Ah, damn it. Now that's almost too yellow. Okay, alright. Okay. And now it's a little too green. Am I just gonna be doing this ridiculous sort of back and forth? Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Just constantly for the rest of my life, or will we eventually land on? I think that's an acceptable green. I think that's an acceptable green for it. Now let me have a little look-see. If I can just go back to... Ah, shoot. Ah, shoot, where are they? Crowberries. Alright. Have a look at what these little leafies actually look like. Oh man, they're cute, but they're really... Ah, it's complicated. Okay, we're gonna try and simplify this while still having them look like themselves, hopefully. So wish me luck with that. I'm gonna start with this one, I think. And I'm just gonna do them kind of a little bit like this. I think this will be a good shorthand for what these little leafies look like, really. Yeah, I think that looks... Oh, isn't it... I think this is gonna... They look like little succulent leaves. Yeah. Can I get this to come into focus, please? There we go. This is what I'm kind of doing as a little illustrative shorthand, because obviously this is an illustration of crowberries on the little crowberry jam label. So we don't need these to look photorealistic. They are stylized crowberry leaves because the crow painted them, damn it. And frankly, we are just impressed at this very intelligent little crow. So, have I made these a little bit too small? I think I maybe have, but oh well. Again, in universe, these have been hand painted by a crow, so I'm all right with them not looking exactly like they do IRL. But I think it's close enough that you can see what the intention of this little bourbon was. I'm gonna take a sip of my beverage again. Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's good. Hell yeah. Anyways, what's for dinner, everybody? What are you having for din-dins tonight? I hope you're having something delicious. I am making a lentil soup because once again my teeth are demanding that I do not eat anything excessively solid. And I'm having to allow that. Much to my mild sadness. Because I really miss, I just, you know, I want to have fish fingers. I want to have, I really wish you could get gluten-free veggie dinosaur nuggies. That would be the dream at this point. But I'll take what I can get. Yeah, I'm liking this. I hope it's okay. Oh, stir fry, says Tals. I love that for you. That sounds delicious. I love a good stir fry situation. It sounds really nice. I'm thinking of, I have half a jar of these really nice chickpeas. Like, I splurged and bought the nice chickpeas because I'm trying to be kind to myself right now. Technically they're called queen chickpeas, but we bought them for the first time in part because my moderator / spouse misread the label and thought that they were called queer chickpeas, and I'm like, well, we have to get them now. And the terrible truth about the queer chickpeas is they are the most delicious, like, shop-bought chickpeas I have ever had in my life. So I'm thinking for tomorrow night's dinner, because I hadn't planned a dinner for tomorrow night because I thought I was having dental surgery and I was just going to have a packet of soup. But it turns out my dental surgery is once again delayed until next week. So I can actually cook food tomorrow. So since I have half a jar of queer chickpeas in the fridge, I was thinking of making myself pasta ceci. There's nothing crunchy about it. The chickpeas are nice and squishy. The pasta's nice and squishy. And then I get to have it, you know, with some, like, tomatoey, brothy deliciousness. If you've never had pasta ceci, it is one of my favorite pasta dinners. And also, it cooks in one pan, which is delightful. My moderator / spouse has just come home. I'll be back in just a second. Hi, baby. Take a nap before dinner. About 45 minutes before it's cooked. So. Have some rest. I'll make you a cup of tea when I'm done. Okay. I love you. Moderator / spouse is home. And because he is the most wonderful person I've ever known in my entire life, he brought me Gaviscon. That's romance right there. That's romance when you're over 40. Is bringing someone you love a much needed box of antacids. Oh my god! Fox!
Oh hell yeah, awesome. Fox42 just subscribed for the COVID.
Oh, Fox, thank you very much indeed for the sub. 7 months, that's almost a year. Thank you. The hooded crow here would say caw, but they've got a berry in their beak. But they are very grateful. But thank you so much. I very appreciate that. Thank you. And I hope you're having a lovely Monday as well. Dan said, why does nobody ever specify what they're stir frying? That's a great question. I knew it was a hooded crow. I'm so glad that it was recognizable, even though it's only partially done. Yay! That honestly makes me so happy. Thank you. Oh goodness. I'm quite happy with the way that these crowberries turned out. I think they turned out quite cute. They're not quite done yet. But for now. Oh goodness. Fox says, some of them bullied the new local cat at work and my boss waved his walking stick at them. Amazing. Amazing. Oh dear. Poor Cato. Poor little Cato, but I'm sure they just feel that they're defending their territory. And I'm glad they're not putting up with any shenanigans from the Cato as well. So, you know, fair. I'm frying stirs. I hope this helps. That does, Tals. Thank you. That makes sense. Okay. I don't think we're going to have a ton of time to get a ton more done today. So I think what I will do is I'll pull up my reference page of pictures again. Just have a look at how I want to do. Okay. I'm just gonna get a little, at least a little bit of color onto the beak. A little beak. And then maybe do the little ribbon around the top of the top of the jar. I could not think of the word jar for a second there because I'm very intelligent. Fox says, oh, absolutely, but this is hilarious because their nest is high up a big old tree and she is fat and has zero chance of getting them. Oh, bless. Oh, bless. That is a mood. I also, if I have to climb a distance, forget it. Like, I barely tolerate going upstairs if I can avoid it. But, oh, beans. Understandable little Moggy, but yeah. I will post an image of Chunky Luna in the Discord. Oh, thank you very much. BT Dubs, there's a Discord for anyone who's not in it and would like to join. It's a quiet place, but we do have fun there. You can let us know when you're live if you stream. And you can find out when I stream if you, for whatever reason, want to know that. You can share your artworks or the things that you've baked or like whatever you want, as long as it abides by the rules. There are rules, please heed them. But you know, we're pretty chill. As long as you do, we're pretty chill. There we go. Okay. Obviously this is not done, but I'm feeling good about it. I would like to be able to finish this in time for tomorrow's Stream Inc, because this is tomorrow's prompt for Stream Inc, which was crows. I will pop a link to the Stream Inc list if I can. Hold up. Stream Inc. If I go to, I'll find it on Blue Sky. I think that's probably the best place to look. As long as search works for me on there. Stream Inc. I'll pop a link to the list in case anyone wants to do any of the prompt fills for the remaining weeks of the month. This is sadly the final Stream Inc from this group of organizers. Because I think a number of the people who were involved in organizing it have moved on from streaming and are doing other things, and they're just really busy. So that's fair. But, yes. I'm just, instead of doing the whole list this year, I'm just doing, like, a selection of works as and when I've got time. I think I want to try and find a good idea for Bonfire, which is day 20. So that's in about a week. And I could consider doing something for Bones Day. I think Bones Day, Dusk or Bones could be quite fun. But I'm not doing all of them, so we'll do bonfire next week. Samantha says, tomorrow's prompts today. Hell yeah. Welp, I couldn't think of anything for today's prompt, and I didn't want to put myself under too much pressure to finish it on time, so we're doing tomorrow's. Anyways, how's it going? It's lovely to see you. Welcome on in. Fox says, yeah, I share when I go live, which is sporadic, and sometimes share art and cat pics, and we love to see all of those thems. Look, there's some political figures in the UK I could recommend putting on a bonfire. I mean, that surely that's for like bonfire night. Surely that's for like bonfire night. I think that's the point of bonfire night. I don't actually know because I'm not from here. And it wasn't a key question on my life in the UK test. Anyways, after we celebrate my birthday, you mean, oh, happy forthcoming birthday. Are you doing anything fun? That is truly why we celebrate bonfire night. My birth. Hell yeah. Perhaps I will make a gluten-free Yorkshire parkin in your honor. Actually, I feel like a Yorkshire parkin wouldn't be too difficult to make gluten-free because it already starts with, like, it's got oats in it. I've never made a parkin. I've only eaten one that was made by somebody else. We happened to find one in, like, Iceland a couple of years ago, which I was surprised at. And Iceland, the supermarket, by the way, not Iceland, the country. I'd never seen one down south before. I'd only ever seen them in supermarkets up north. But yeah, I like a parkin situation. It's a little bit more, it's toothsome because it's got like oats in the batter, but it's like a sort of rich, treacly, gingery kind of cake. It's very nice. Anyways, we sacrificed an effigy to the flames in honor of Fox's birth. Hell yeah. And you know what? Fox is a great person and we should celebrate them by casting an effigy into a big bonfire. I guess. Anyways, they say I was born late and I maintain I was waiting for the English to launch fireworks in memory of a failed coup. To mark that their downfall is coming. Oh god. Anyways. Taking a sip. Sipping some more. I live in England, so I'm not English, but I live in England. Should I be scared? I mean, don't answer that. I am all the time, and I am trying to keep things light and breezy for my mental health. Anyways, you are safe from me, says Fox. Thank you. And thank you for every time you DM me an interesting Instagram reel. I love them all. Anyways, that is a fun mark of friendship. I saw this thing and I want you to look at this thing also. I love it. I would share more things with people, but I don't see a lot of interesting things. I don't know. My recommendations are mostly, hey, did you know this thing about autism? I don't know why, but I seem to get a lot of recommendations for content about autism. No comment. Anyways, the autism friendship, says Samantha. I'm being read for filth. Anyways. Gonna take another sip of my tea. Stone cold Hello Kitty. Delicious. The cinnamon really comes to the fore when it's cold. See, I need to send more, says Fox. That is my surface algo cleansing. Oh man, speaking of the algo, very annoyingly, I've been getting this ad for a dating app, which annoys me for various reasons. First of all, it annoys me because I'm happily married. I'm not interested in dating. Second of all, I took a screenshot of this because it was just so egregiously, like, it felt like an ableist microaggression that I had to catalog it. Hold up. For the love of making eye contact. Have you not seen, Instagram, how many suggested reels you send me about autism? And then you have the nerve to show me an ad for the love of making eye contact. Do you not see the dissonance here, Instagram? I mean, on the one hand, I am very happy anytime the advertising algorithm has no idea who I am or what to market to me, because I would prefer to be an enigma to them. But on the other hand, that just feels plain mean. Anyways, The best is when I get recommended baby products, says Fox. Mood. I mean, I'm currently eating pouches of baby food as a snack because my tooth doesn't work correctly, but hey, that's different. Also, okay, here's the most annoying thing about baby stuff for me is when I get an ad and I see, like, it's for, like, baby clothes, and I see, like, oh my god, that jumper's got dinosaurs on it. That's so super cute. I wonder how much it costs. I would love to get one in my size. And then I click it, and I see that the largest size is, like, for a 3-year-old toddler. Make this for adults. Anyways. But no, Samantha, I'm a vegetarian. Anyways, left bot doesn't know what right bot is doing, says Dan. Yes, exactly. Oh, that was the other thing. That was the other thing about this dating site ad, is not just that it's all about, like, making eye contact, which feels, like, egregious and horrible, but all of the comments under the post are these weird bot comments, and I don't know... I feel like this must be something that they like paid for engagement so that it looks like this is getting a lot of comments, because every single comment was almost verbatim the same, like, nonsensical, like, AI slop that if you skim past it maybe sounds like a sentence, but it's really obvious that it's bots because they're all using the same template and just plugging in different words. Like, I screenshotted one that said, and I quote, "High key, the flows stand out as especially well considered. The idea feels genuinely deliberate and well paced throughout. I keep noticing how the style stay bold even in the small moments. I vibe with that the choices here support the larger idea without getting in the way. It reads striking from start to finish with a confident rhythm. Overall, could look at this all day. 100 emoji." What the fuck is that? That's nonsense. It's nonsense. It's substanceless. It says nothing. It means nothing. But all of the comments were exactly this. Like, a different one would be like, oh, the flows stand out as especially well considered. What does that mean? That means nothing. But another one would be like the contrast stands out as especially well considered. It's just like they just like swap out different vaguely filmmaking related words that have nothing to do with... It's an ad for a dating site. None of this means, like, it's just anyways, Fox says, wait, what is that? What have you been getting? So true. And also, thank you for your Shein card. I have not been getting the Shein card bots, but I'm not surprised. That's terrible. Bots be botting, says Tels. We hate it. We hate to see it. Anyways, but yeah, I love living in the future, says Curse Jarpies. It's just, it's so depressing. Fox says, the true neurodivergent curse of capitalism is every fake correspondence online basically flashing. Not real! Ugh. It's, me when my flow is well considered, says Kobe. Yes, it's just, it means nothing. It's a load of old nonsense. But I think they are, if any thought is being put into this, it is that the assumption is that people will just scroll through, people aren't reading the comments, people will just scroll past and see, well, that looks like regular sentences, so a lot of people are commenting on this. That you're just, thumbing past stuff at speed and seeing like, this is a popular ad, I'll go check it out, because it has engagement. But if you look at any of the engagement, it's all real freaking sus. Like, that does not instill confidence in a product to me. So this is I shall not, never mind.
Attention.
We have friends.
Twitch user Sammy
I'll
Kelch.
stop ranting.
Shoppers.
Maya, hello! Welcome in, Raiders. Hello, Maya. How was your stream? I guess we're not raiding Maya today. Hello, how are you doing? It's wonderful to see you and welcome. What were you up to? How was your stream? I hope it went well. Welcome in, friends. Hello, hello, hello. Let me get a shout out for Maya in the chat. If you're not following Maya, you should go do that because Maya's lovely and makes wonderful art and is really, really cool and fun to hang out with. Anyways, hello. How was your stream? What'd you get up to today? As always, we're an art tax optional stream, so if there's anything you would like to share with the class, I would be very, very, very happy to do so. You can drop a link into my whispers if you would like to, but if you just want to dip, that's also fine. It's all good. Awesome Fox is heading out to get changed into PJs and winding down for the evening. Have a lovely evening, Fox. Lovely to see you. And hello to Rosa. Hello. And hello to Isabel77 and Geek Boy Man. Hello, hello. Billy, hello, welcome in. Iron Sid, hello. Crouton of Death, welcome in. How are you doing? Rockout Guy, hello. It's lovely to see you all and welcome on in. For anyone who's new here, hello. My name is Twitch user Sammy Kelsh. I'm a variety streamer. As you can see, I'm not done this painting yet, but we do cozy art streams on Mondays and most Thursdays. We do cozy game streams on Fridays and every once in a while on a Thursday as well. Today I'm working on some crowberry jam, as you can see. Some delicious, delicious crowberries have gone into this this jammy substance, and this hooded, very incomplete hooded crow obviously made the jam. That's the implication. I hope that's obvious. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But yeah, welcome in everyone. It's lovely to see you. And hello, my stream went while I was working on streaming, currently drawing a scarecrow in a field. Ah, sweet! Ah, sweet! Hell yeah. Crow prompt, friends. Nice. This is also for streaming Crow Day. I'm hoping to have it finished by tomorrow, but who's to knows? But yeah, as always, if there's anything you would like to share, feel free to whisper a link in my direction, whether that is your current work in progress or a social page that you would like to point to is all fine. Or if you just want to chill, also fine. It's all good. Your crow looks so cute, says Maya. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I'm trying my best. It is the hooded crow. When I decided I wanted to do crowberry as my theme, I decided I wanted a crow that would be potentially from a region that also grows crowberries, and there are hooded crows up in sort of Scandinavia and in the northern areas where you can forage for crowberries. And so I thought that a hooded crow eating crowberries would be appropriate. Also, they're very smart. Hooded crows are very smart creatures. I mean, all corvids are very smart, but hooded crows are very smart. And so I thought that of all of the creatures who might be able to learn how to make jam, the hooded crow might learn how to make jam. That's probably not true, but hey. Anything's possible. Listen, you never know. For anyone who hasn't seen what my artwork looks like and wants to know what it looks like when it's done, you maybe do. Let me find a recent example of... Oh, I can show you what I painted last Thursday on stream, actually. Because I've tried to be good about updating my Instagram fairly quickly these days. It doesn't always work, but I'm trying my best. This was for the autumn prompt, which was a few days ago for streaming. And I had a nice time with this. This is the same set of watercolors as I'm using today, actually, which is a really, really fun set of paints. And we have a couple of little guys, Frog and Toading it, on their little tandem bicycle. This is definitely how bicycle works, don't question it. And yeah, that's what my artwork looks like anyways. Ooh, the colors, says Maya. Thank you. I had a lot of fun with that, actually. I don't always do it, but sometimes it's really, really nice to just take like large areas of your painting and kind of just mess with and manipulate sort of your paints to attempt to do something, but kind of let them do their own thing also and see what happens. And it's a bit of a pleasant surprise at the end. I enjoy that quite a bit. But this paint palette that we're working with today it's one of my favorites that I formulated myself. So this is a palette that's, I took a representative rainbow of colors, you know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, brown, and black, and I blended an equivalent amount of this mother color, or mom as I like to call her, which is Lunar Red Rock from Daniel Smith Paints, which is a gorgeous granulating sort of deep red in and of itself, but it gives you this wonderful sort of autumn flowing into winter palette of colors. It's very warm and just feels like cold weather colors. I don't know how else to explain it. They just feel like cold weather colors, and they work really well for cold weather colors. So we've got our little crowberries down here as well. Anywho, I'm gonna take a sip of my beverage, if that's okay. And I don't think I had a question for the chat today, but we were talking just a little while ago about like advertising algorithms and bots on the internet and all that kind of horrible stuff. And I had a point. I'm sure I had a point, and I've completely lost what my point was, but I'm sure it was great. What shall I say? What was my point? I don't know anymore. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But I think I'm gonna make sort of a twine color for this bit at the bottom here. We're probably not gonna go on too much longer today, so I'm probably not gonna finish the full plumage of our crow. But we can definitely paint in some twine, and I'm gonna accidentally put my hand in some paint as well, which is great. This, as always, my palette is the lid from a pot of ricotta. I don't know. Listen, I like to recycle, okay? I'm gonna get another shout out for finger painting, Sis Samantha. That's a whole nother medium and a whole different stream, I think. I could do that sometime. But it would be a struggle. Let's get another shout out for Maya in the chat. If you're not following Maya, you should really, really go do that. I wholeheartedly recommend. She does absolutely gorgeous, stunning work. Beautiful, like, character portraits and stuff. Really lovely. Really, really lovely. Go do. Anyways. But yeah, we were talking a bit about sort of like advertising and algorithms and that sort of thing earlier. These terrible bot comments that I was seeing on this one ad that I keep getting for a dating website, and I'm like, I don't know how to explain to you that I'm not in the market for a dating website. I'm happily married. Leave me alone. Anyways. Oh yeah, I was gonna say there was this cafe quite local to in like the city that I live in, and I was getting ads for it, and it makes me feel really sad because the ads that they've been putting out, they're using like the images are obviously not real photos, they're obviously like generated, and I suspect that they think that they look more like slick and advertising-y, but because I can tell that the image is generated, it just makes me not trust that you're representing yourself accurately as a business. And when I went to look up like reviews of the cafe, like the reviews are good. And the pictures of the food that people have posted with their reviews look delicious. Like that's a perfectly cromulent full English breakfast, very nicely presented. Why would they not just post a photo of their actual breakfasts? I don't understand. It's not doing their business any favors, and I just thought that was such a shame. It almost makes me wonder if someone should tell them, but I don't want that person to be me. Because, I don't know, commenting on things on the internet, that sounds dangerous. That sounds like a dangerous activity, and I don't want to do it. I left a comment on a YouTube video yesterday, and I was like, oh, should I do that? I don't think I should do that. That doesn't seem safe. But here we are. Anyways. Yeah, I think this is a nice sort of brownish, yellowish twine type color. It's a bit of a warm twine, but that'll do. I'm contemplating whether or not I'm going to make this into like some kind of sticker or something. When we're done painting it. But we'll see. I guess it depends on whether or not all of the feathers and stuff turn out looking good. Anywho. But yeah, what's everyone up to this evening? I hope if you have plans, I hope your plans are good. My plans for after stream are to make lentil soup and then chill. I might play a little bit of Silk Song. I've been playing a little bit of Silk Song off stream, having a truly delightful time with it. It's such a nice game. It's such a fun game. But that being said, my God, some of it is hard. And I'm a little This is going to sound real goofy, but I am a little scared that I'm going to end up at some point in a situation on Silk Song where I reach a point where I am not good enough to continue, and I'm gonna end up basically being like stuck, and I'm gonna have to decide whether or not to just give up and play something else, because it's really hard. And I'm super scared, which is probably a really stupid fear, because every time I've encountered like a big boss fight or whatever that has been really hard, I've just like persisted for an hour or two and eventually won it. But there's always that latent little like what if in the back of my head that's like, but what if it gets all bad? What if it goes bad? What if you fail? And I guess the answer is, if I fail, then I fail. Okay. It's like, it's fine. But yes. I'm gonna try not to worry about that in the meantime. But, you know. Anyways. I don't know how this has accumulated dust. I think this is a fairly new sweatshirt, and I think a lot of fiber is just like coming off of my sweatshirt every time I take it off or put it on. Ooh, sorry about the brightness. Anyways, this is a new sweatshirt, and I'm a little bit worried that like fiber is just kind of fluffing off of it. But so it goes. Oh boy, Cursed Jar of Bees says, I've seen no fewer than 3 gaming-only streamers absolutely give up on that game. Oh no. Yay! Well, listen, I beat the bird gauntlet, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Spoilers, I guess there's a bird gauntlet. I try and keep things relatively spoiler-free, but sorry about that. But I will be resuming it on Friday. There are some fun areas for us to visit. Some things that I need to do. I have to attend to some fleas, and I'm hoping to find a fast travel station soon, and I have to do some silly platforming. So yeah, spoiler alert: the game involves both Silk and songs. Whoa! Okay, I'll allow it, because technically I didn't put up the no spoilers message for this stream, because this isn't a gaming stream. But yes. I mean, I will say I'm a very persistent streamer. I'm a very persistent gamer when it comes to, if I'm enjoying the game, I will try over and over and over again to do the thing that's been vexing me. And like, I don't mind doing the same thing over and over and over again until I get it. I don't know if that's fun to watch, if it ends up taking me like a cumulative 3 hours to beat like one boss or whatever, but it's, you know, whatever. Is the Bapanada lady still there? I don't know, because I haven't been to all of the areas of the game yet. So she might be, but I haven't seen her yet. Does Silk Song have the cutest fast travel mechanism of any game ever made? Yes or yes. 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 100%. I only played the first one. She was my favorite. That is Zelda, the cartographer's wife, from Hollow Knight, is delightful. We have a new map friend this time. I love her so much. I love our map friend so much. I love her song. She's so cool. I don't want to give away too much, but you can tell a lot of the time that you're about to encounter the map lady, because you hear, as you're like dooting through the area, you hear off in the distance the sound of Ushkaro, I lai lai lai. And if you hear that, you know that the map person is near. Because she sings the song. It's so lovely. Her name is Chakra, and she's Hornet's girlfriend, says Samantha. Wholeheartedly, I want them to date. I absolutely want them to date. I want them to just sit and eat sandwiches together and go off on adventures and do mighty warrior things. I think that would be lovely. I would love that for them. I did have a bit of a, oh man, I can relate to this moment. The first time that Hornet meets Chakra, Chakra is like, child wielding sword, or whatever she says. And Hornet's like, I am no child, I am just shorter than you. Hornet is very old. It was very funny, but I'm like, oh, I can relate to that. Listen, I think it was last Christmas I got ID'd trying to buy a bottle of wine. I'm over 40. What the nuts? What the nuts? Samantha has unbidden put a link to a YouTube video, so I'm just gonna surreptitiously find out what that is real quick, but not actually play it because an hour of Chakra singing her song. Oh, that's rad as heck. Thank you. Gonna not play that at the moment because if I do, it will break the internet. By which I mean it will genuinely break the stream. Anyways, on that note. I'm going to have to leave now because we are very shortly going to run into another round of ads, and I don't want y'all to have to see ads again when I need to end the stream soon. That doesn't seem fair, so I'm just going to end now. I'll have to finish this off stream tomorrow, I'm sorry, but I had a really nice time working on it with y'all. I had fun talking about pigments and video game and forageable berries from northern climes. If you find yourself in northern Scandinavia, parts of the Scottish Highlands, Labrador, northern Canada, as well as Alaska, and you have the opportunity, and Iceland, to avail yourselves of some crowberries and use them to make jam or something, I think you should, or a pie. Do it! And report back on whether or not they're delicious. Find myself in the Scottish Highlands quite often. If you find a crowberry bush and they're fruiting, you should forage that. Take it home and make yourself a jar of jam. Anyways, thank you for the stream. It's so nice to be here this morning. USA Left Side says Chris Jarvis. Geez, morning. My goodness, it is dinner time for me. Good old time zones. What the heck? I do not like jam. Shoot. You could probably. Cordial? Pie? A fruit-flavored liqueur, perchance? I don't know. Or just mail them to me. It's fine. I'll make good use of them. Anyways. I'm gonna see if there's anyone we can do a little raid on. That's what I'm gonna do. Because I think it would be nice to... Infused simple syrup, says Cursed Sharpies. Oh, yes. I dislike any kind of fruit. Cooked fruit. Fruit does not go with that texture. Oh, man. I'm so glad that it's not your tooth that's ruined. Because I can't eat raw fruit right now. Except maybe, like, bananas. It's a fun time. Anyways. Oh, you know who I think we have not raided in a little while? Let me just check and make sure that I'm not lying about that. But I feel like it's been a little wee while since we raided... Yeah, it's been like at least a month since we raided Perrin, so let's go say hi to Perrin, because Perrin's lovely, and is probably doing some rad artwork. So let's go say hi. There we go. Anyways. Tomcat says, hey Sammy, happy to see you online, looking forward to spending joyous hours in your chat. Oh, Tomcat, please enjoy the VOD. Sorry. I have to go make lentil soup now, but it was nice to very briefly see you, and I hope you're having a wonderful Monday. I hope you had a good weekend and stuff. I am, to that end, gonna add a generic raid message in the chat. And thank you again to Maya for the raid as well. Very much appreciated. Lovely to see. Ooh, yeah, actually, let's raid message with a bird. Because I was painting a bird today. It feels appropriate to have a bird raid message. So let me just fix it, because... okay. Alright, okay. I'm copying that for me. There's a raid message in the chat. If you have the emotes, feel free to grab the emotes. If you don't have the emotes, you can just say generic raid message and append any cool emotes that you do have. I will be back on Thursday painting something new. I don't know what yet, but hopefully it'll be fun. In the meantime, I hope you have a really good week. Wish me luck for this temporary filling holding up for an additional week because of my dentist appointment being canceled again. Um, and I shall see you all on Thursday. I hope you have a great evening and a good rest of your Monday and a good time zone and all that jazz. And good night and good luck.